Connecté sur l'entretien avec le sénateur. Et donc, veuillez rester légèrement patient et d'ici quelques secondes, quelques minutes, nous allons essayer de rétablir le son. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay connected. We are already inside the meeting. We just want to make sure that everybody is ready, and then we'll be able to pass on the sound of the meeting. Everybody, stay connected as we go in. You are listening live to One Talk, and inviting all of you to stay connected as we're getting ready to speak with the rest of the participants in our talk today with Senator Ossof. I invite you all to stay connected as we're getting ready to speak to we actually talking with the participants.
Good evening. My name is Adafi Sodi. I'm the NAPAC chairman for Georgia. That is the Nigerian American Public Affairs Committee. I really want to jump into the program right away, but I will use my 1 minute to just say a big thank you to the African community leaders that have made this coalition a success, and also state that there is a lot more work to be done. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Bolaji Daudu. He sent me his CV. It's really long, so I'm just going to cut it down and say he's a lawyer, he's a business owner, and a politician. So at this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Bolaji. Mr. Bolaji, please take it away.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Soje. Good evening to everyone. To our distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you as Senator John Ossof. The last time that you were with us, back in July, you promised to come back after the election. We thank you for keeping your promise. I first met you when I worked for your campaign back in 2017, when you ran for Congress. Of course, this time is much sweeter, as you are now our senator. Not only did I work hard during that campaign, but NAPAC and African community at large made tremendous contributions of time and money to the campaign. And we are very excited that our hard work paid off. We also want to congratulate you on your new appointment as the chair of Senate Subcommittee on investigations. As a certified fraud examiner with a law degree, I was especially pleased to hear the news because I understand the complexity of investigative work, and I believe your background will be invaluable to use to the role. As you are selling into your position, please keep in mind that many of us are willing, able, and ready to assist you in any way you might need us. Without further ado, please join me in welcome our Senator, John Ossof.
Thank you so much, everybody, and thank you, Balaji, thank you, Hadi, thank you, Adafe, thank you to all of our hosts and all the groups represented. And yes, I did make the commitment to return after victory, and so I am returning, and I will again. This dialogue will continue. I want to express my appreciation for all of the support that the African diaspora showed for me in the campaign. Deeply appreciated, not taken for granted, and well noted. I hope that you also recognize that beyond my election, what that means for me, the immense consequences of these two victories. We just passed a $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. We would not have been able to pass this legislation had we not won these two races in Georgia, as you well know, in a 50-50 Senate. My victory, which was in a shocking contrast to the events of that day, was formalized and announced on January 6th as the Capitol was overrun, is what delivered that narrow majority to Democrats in the U.S. Senate and enabled us to pass this legislation. And I'd like to just take a moment and walk you through what's in this legislation so that you can have a sense of what it might mean for you and your family and communicate that to your neighbors, friends, and colleagues. So there's two main components here. There's the economic component and the public health component. The economic component has, of course, the $1,400 stimulus checks. Those are to adults and children, as well as for the first time now, adult dependents. So if you have full-time college students or folks for whom you're caring in your home who are adult dependents, they also will receive the $1,400 checks. Arguably even more significant than the $1,400 checks is the child allowance. This really substantial increase in the child tax credit. The child tax credit is now $3,600 per child under the age of 6 and $3,000 per child over the age of 6. So let's just do the math here about what this means for, let's say, a family of 4 with 2 adults and a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. You're looking at $5,600 from the stimulus checks, and then an additional $6,600 for the kids. So a family of 4 with 5 and 7-year-old children is looking at in excess of $12,000 in direct economic relief over the coming months, at a moment when a lot of families really need this help to pay down debt, to cover basic expenses. There are, of course, upper income thresholds above which one is not eligible. For the child tax credit, that's $75,000 for an individual filer, $150,000 for a jointly filing household. And for the stimulus checks, it is $80,000 for the individual filer, $160,000 for the jointly filing household. I'd also like to highlight some of what Senator Warnock and I were able to secure specifically for Georgia in this legislation. $4.5 billion for Georgia's public schools to safely reopen. This is the first, if you can, it's hard to believe, this is the first of any of the COVID bills that has put any serious resources into our local public schools. Parents cannot continue like this. We've got to get our school districts the resources they need to safely reopen. In addition to that $4.5 billion for schools, more than $8 billion for state and local governments. More than $8 billion. And that's not just going to flow to Atlanta and the governor's office. We made sure that that's going to go directly to smaller localities, smaller cities and counties as well. Then you've got the public health component. And by the way, there's a lot of other stuff on the economic side. There's mortgage assistance, there's childcare assistance. There's a whole range of programs and funding to help families that are struggling economically and to promote economic recovery. And let me just say this, this is a sea change in the philosophy of governance that you see represented in this legislation. Because the typical policy over the last 40 years, when it's time to pass a stimulus bill, has been to shower investment banks and Fortune 500 corporations and higher net worth individuals and high earners with tax breaks. This does the inverse. In fact, 0% of the stimulus checks or the tax credits go to the top 1%. This is economic stimulus via economic relief for working class and middle class people. Now, that also is a more effective, and economists will tell you this, a more effective way of stimulating the economy. Because rather than that money just going into stock buybacks or investments or savings, that money is going into necessaries, local businesses, services, paying down debt. And that has a more direct and more effective stimulus effect. The OECD, the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, which, as you know, is an economic organization, intergovernmental, that spans major industrialized countries, they have estimated that this legislation will add 3.5% to annual GDP growth in the United States this year, doubling GDP growth in the United States this year, and more than 1% to global economic growth. Okay, if you have friends or relatives in West Africa or anywhere on the continent, they are going to feel effects from this legislation. So significant will be its impact. So just reflect for a moment on this. Victory in Georgia. Victory in Georgia has doubled projected U.S. economic growth in 2021 and added more than 1% to global economic growth. Elections do indeed have consequences. Then there is the public health dimension. Okay, we've got significant resources for vaccine production and distribution. To give you an idea of what that is going to fund, I expect, and this is a conservative estimate, that we will have sufficient vaccine supply for every American adult to be immunized for free by midsummer. And I believe it may be significantly sooner than that. We are augmenting the distribution efforts to make sure that there is racial and class equity in access to vaccines. So, for example, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta will be a vaccine administration site providing 6,000 doses per day for free. And if you know the configuration of the city of Atlanta, you know that that will serve the West End, Vine City, English Avenue communities, lower income communities that typically have less access to health services. There's $8.5 billion for rural hospitals across the country in this bill. Reverend Warnock and I, and this is going to be, I think, welcome news, medical professionals on this call. Reverend Warnock and I secured, wait for it, because I'm really proud of this, $2 billion for Medicaid expansion in Georgia alone. $2 billion for Medicaid expansion in Georgia. So, I am just scratching the surface, but trying to give you the big picture here. I am proud of this legislation. I think this is one of the best fiscal packages that any major industrialized country has passed in response to this COVID-19 pandemic. We have not expended political capital to pass it. We have grown our political capital by passing it so we can continue to do bold things in Congress for the people. And I would just close by noting that this legislation is supported by 75% of Americans, overwhelming bipartisan public support. No Republicans in Congress voted for it, but a majority of Republican people support it. So, when we talk about bipartisanship, the bipartisanship I care about is the people. The people. We are uniting the people to do good. So, y'all know that the continent has a special place in my heart. You know that I've worked extensively in West Africa. You know I have close colleagues in Ghana and have spent significant time in the region working on investigative journalism projects prior to entering politics. And please know and remember, I'm here to serve you. I work for you. So whatever concerns you have, please raise them with my office. And I'm here to serve. And I got time. I'm a little past time, but I can take 2 questions, Hadi.
Great. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much for your time. I haven't seen questions pop up real quick here, but I would try to pull some of the questions that we had prior. You answered one of them was you work for us, you're here for us, and you help, you're going to support our needs and concerns through your office. I know that was very important to us, which included you considering opening an African constituency office as a liaison office within your office. Is that still an option that's open that you're considering that would happen later on so people can actually have their concern easily addressed and get it to you at a reasonable time?
We will certainly have a staff member who is designated as the principal point of contact for African diaspora. Whether that is their only job, I can't make an assurance about that because we haven't yet fully structured the staff for our office. But we will have a main point of contact for the African diaspora, and I'll also make sure that our immigration constituent service liaison is well known to you. And for those of you who are traveling frequently to the continent who may have consular issues or passport issues, you lose that passport. You got a flight in 36 hours and you realize it's expired or you've misplaced it. That kind of support, it's happened to me, and we can help you with that kind of thing. I also just want to take a moment and recognize I see my brother Daniel Blackman is on the call. It was a real honor to run alongside Daniel. I'm sure that Senator Warnock and I would not have prevailed had we not been running as a ticket with Daniel. He added so much to our efforts, and I want to give Daniel a shout out and observe that he has a bright and potent future in public service and has already done a great deal to serve Georgia. And in fact, Daniel and I served on the board together of Georgia Conservation Voters to help to craft pro-environmental policy in the state of Georgia.
Yes, that's amazing. Daniel Blackman is a resident brother of ours. And so we have a habit of claiming brothers. When you come on the show, you have to claim a country. I already claimed Blackman, and Shegun and I fight over that, but I'll take you to Gambia too. So I claim all the people first before they get to it, since I'm the one that's coordinating, right? I have the first right to it. So sorry, Shegun. Adafe, go ahead if you have a question to ask real quick.
Well, the question is going to come. We have our executive director online, Shego Dana. So I'm going to let him take that second question, and he's also have a backup question with that. Go ahead, Mr. Shego.
Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to make a comment and then pass the question over. First of all, Senator John Ossof. I love how that rings, and you can see my virtual background. I'm just reminding people what it took for us to get here. We really worked hard, and this is what the result is. So you are a senator, and you represent our interests, and thank you for that. I'm actually going to ask Dr. Stanley Okoro, because we had a discussion, and he had a really good question, and I really think he needs to ask that question. So Stanley, could you go ahead and unmute yourself? And
Yes, Senator Ossof, welcome. How are you doing?
Oh, Dr. Okoro, how are you too?
Great. So I'm just keeping up with everything that you guys are doing, and we're happy to be here. The questions that my people wanted to know was as the vaccine rollout is happening rapidly in the U.S., has there been any discussion about helping African countries acquire vaccine? Because a lot of African countries either can't afford it, or it's like at the end when the U.S. and every other industrialized country have gotten their vaccine, then Africa is a thought. Because if everybody is vaccinated and Africa is not, then we are not safe. That's it.
Yeah, it's a great point. And, I care about global health. I care about the health of all human beings everywhere. And it is certainly a struggle for many African countries to access the vaccine right now. And I think, Dr. Okoro, because I like to be very blunt and direct, and not just say what folks want to hear, but give my honest assessment of the situation. I think that it will not be long until there is sufficient production that the rich industrialized countries are no longer hoarding their supplies. But I think that we're still in a period of time when Western governments are understandably so focused on getting the vaccine distributed and administered within their own populations that the global health aspect is somewhat neglected. However, there are some resources in this bill for it. It's worth noting that there are some resources in this bill for it. I know that at least in Ghana, in recent weeks, there have been increased arrival of consignments of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine as well, I think, as Novax. But I believe that it will not be long until the supply is adequate for the WHO to coordinate with the African Union, with ECOWAS, and with relevant regional organizations to ensure that there's saturation within African societies. Okay. Hey, I appreciate y'all, and thank you for the hospitality. You can contact my office. I saw my good friend Tish Nagis is on the line. Tish, are you in Lagos?
He's back.
Okay, she's back. Well, Tish asked, how do you contact the office? And the answer is ossof.senate.gov. You can reach out to us there. You can call, you can write. Please let me help you with anything that I can assist you with. Again, I work for you. We're still staffing up. So I hope that you'll show some forbearance in the first couple of months while we get the whole team in place, if it's not quite as rapid as it will be under normal conditions. Thank you all. God bless you, and I wish you good health.
Thank you. God bless you.
Bye. Yes, John, I'm back.
Oh.
It's a go.
He's dropped. Somebody was speaking. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Bolaji, for making this happen. It's an honor to actually have him come back, and for your efforts. We really, really appreciate your efforts for making this happen. You're a gem.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
The community appreciates you very much so. So you guys, everyone.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Thank you for giving the opportunity of the platform to be able to hear from our senator. It's an honor to be able to invite him to come to see any questions we may ask and help our community. So thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wellington. All right, so Heidi, we can move on to the next thing on the agenda, and that's for Mr. Zeke.
Yes.
He's going to do a little presentation in reference to Dr. Jennings. So, Mr. Zeke, go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Show your video next time.
With the nice bow tie.
I know.
Mr. Z, can you hear us?
We're actually listening to Senator John Ossof. We just left, and we're still on. For those who are still listening.
Mr. Zeke?
Yes. Yeah. Both of you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you. Okay. Can you unmute the other screen and give me a co-hostship so I can go over the presentation? Yeah, both your screens are co-host now. Okay. Thank you very much, and thank you for this event. Bethlehem, you're laughing. What did I do this time now, Betty? Okay. Your camera switched off, Zeke. I know. Hold on just a second. All right. There you go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Zeke.
Okay. This is just a brief eulogy for our friend. He's a mentor to a lot of people, and he has done a lot. And it's not really enough to have a few slides. He was a giant. And this was actually posted as part of his the celebration of his life by the organization he was leading at the time of his passing. Because this was the board of directors of the African American Center of Global Politics and Human Rights. They posted this in his honor. And of course, Dr. Kit Lamar Jennings, 61, at his time of passing of Atlanta, Georgia, died February 13, 2021. He was born on July 4th, 59 in Norfolk, Virginia, to the late Elder Thomas and E. Jennings Sr. and Jane Jonita Nixon Jennings. An Indian River High School graduate, he earned a BA in Public Administration and Black Studies, Fisk University, MA and PhD in Political Science at Atlanta University. He traveled to over 70 countries. He has been to Ethiopia a number of times and was a scholar and pioneer for social justice and human rights. He was preceded in days by 6 siblings. He survived by Robert Jennings, Angela Johnson, Bonnie Turner, Darrell Jennings, Cola Jennings, and Romenda Clark White. And this is Keith Jennings at the Center President and at the Coalition of Black Trade Unions International Convention, Atlanta, with NAACP President Derek Johnson at that time. This was taken May 20, 2019. And this is one of his colleagues, Linda Burnham, wrote. It's a long article, but this one caught my attention and I wanted to present it to you. Dr. Keith Jennings, July 4, 1959, February 13, 2021. The first time she said I met Keith Jennings was at his satellite office. I haven't been to this place. It's a Pascal's restaurant in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm sure you guys know it. When I lived in Georgia, it wasn't there. It was 2004 and George W. Bush was running for the presidency again. My hair was still on fire from 2000, the actual stolen election. I called Benny Ivy then at the Center for Democratic Renewal to ask if there was any way I could be of service in the South. He said, talk to Keith Jennings. That's how I got Pascal's to meet him. These are the most beautiful words, she said, the best friend a person could have. There are dozens of people across at least 4 continents who believe that Keith was their best friend. And the remarkable thing is that he was the best friend a person could have. He was a prodigious sharer. He shared his contacts, his money, his humor, his frequent flyer miles, his home, his knowledge and wisdom, and most of all, his love for Black people. His shoulders were broad to hold space for all the people who cried on them. His generosity of heart encompassed people of high station, folks scrambling to get by, and everything in between. So, I met Keith during our Power of the Vote conference series. Just like our friend Blackman, every one of them we invited him, he came, except the last one. He was ill, and he made sure that there was somebody from the organization, a young lady, to represent him. And he was a gentleman. I'm glad I met him, and this is my eulogy of him and remembrance. And I know everybody is busy here. If the chairman and the lady who's running the show allow me, I really want everybody to have at least 30 seconds of silence in his honor and in his contribution, both just with our group and to the greater Atlanta area. Thank you.
That is 1 minute of silence for Dr. Jennings.
Okay. You can take it back now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Zeke.
No problem.
May his soul rest in peace. May his spirit live through all of us to continue his great work. Really, really appreciate all the time he took to help the community. Always good to serve. Thank you for that. So before we wrap up, we have about 27 minutes to go. And I'd like to take that opportunity to share some community efforts and community events from our amazing organizations and folks that actually serve this network that we have. I mentioned earlier that is One Voice Africa in partnership with NAPAC that brought you this session for today, but the whole idea of what we do on a bi-weekly basis is to make sure that we bring the continent to you under one roof. And that's what the One Voice Africa Network is. And again, this is not a one-person group. It's not a two-person group. It's African community in the diaspora especially. But the Georgia group has spearheaded that. But we've had tremendous support all around. And every time we have a meeting, we get people from out of state, out of the country. I know there are a few people that I saw that logged in from Ivory Coast, from Nigeria. So thank you for watching us. Thank you for being a contributor and being part of what we do. It's for the better of our community here and abroad. Quickly, I would like to call on my sisters as represented here. I think Miss Oma is on here from the African Women PAC. Would like to share a couple of things and upcoming events with the community. Miss Oma, are you on? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, there you are.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Miss Hadi. Looking good as always. Great job. Great job. That was a great interview. So again, thank you, everybody. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak about our events. The African Women PAC, we have key events that are coming up. Heidi, I sent you the flyers. I don't know if you can share on your WhatsApp, through your WhatsApp also. So we have a back-to-back event coming up on the 12th. On the 12th, Friday the 12th, we have the opportunity to interview and again. We have already spoken to her once, and she also came to NAPAC. That is Nakita Hemingway. So we're going to have an opportunity to also, from the African Women PAC, we're going to be having an conversation. I call it a conversation with our sister Nakita Hemingway, and just to get the ladies at the African Women PAC to kind of get to know her, ask their questions. So great conversation. Please, it would be great for all of us to come and listen to that event. Again, it's Friday, the 12th of March. Conversation with Nakita Hemingway. She's running for the position of the Commissioner of Agriculture. So I think it's a very great opportunity for us to learn about that position and how that position impacts us as Africans in diaspora and Africa as a whole, and then go from there. The next event we have is Saturday the 13th. Again, we are celebrating our International Women's Day event. Oh my God, awesome event. Are you guys able to share it? And I know that it was also given to David. Can you guys share?
I can share it in a bit. I'm about to send it to Charlie, but you can go ahead and talk about it.
So this event is awesome. We have our great women from the African Women PAC. We also have, I saw her here, Hannah Joy is also going to be on it. There is also a lady, Dr. Cynthia Sass's sister, is also going to be on the panel. So it's going to be Miss Hadi. We also have Attorney Elaine. We have Diana on it. We have Miss Margaret Wendapole. I mean, all these great women that we have in our organization that are going to come in, and we're just going to talk about, our theme is Strong Women Do the Impossible. Choose to challenge. Again, I love that topic. Choose to challenge. Strong women do the impossible. Choose to challenge. So we're going to be hearing from different categories of what they're going to tell us about. So again, conversation piece, really great, diverse areas of conversation that we're going to be having on that. So please, looking forward to every one of you joining. In April, we are also going to have another one in line with our International Women. We're going to continue that till April 3rd, where we're going to have all of our hair. women, we love our hair. So this is showing you the screen here. Panelists, our team, 4 p.m. time, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time. So awesome. Can't wait for this event, and you see all the panel lists. A lot of them are here. So I am so excited about it. I can't wait for that event to happen. Again, thank you so much for sharing that. And then on April 3rd, we're going to be working with Dr. Kima Diggs and another lady. It's all about hair. We Africans, we got to be about hair. We got to do African women. We got to know our hair. We got to show it off. So real or unreal, doesn't matter. Hair is hair. As I tell my husband, if I paid for it, it's my hair. So don't worry anything about it. So we're going to be doing hair and how to wear hair. So that will be April 3rd. That is the event. And then we're going to be having one of our educational series is on getting to understand chambers, Senate, all of the things. What is it about House of Rep, Senate, and all of that, district, all of that. Understanding what it means, the legislative body. And that is going to be coming from our Honorable Elder, Mr. Gabe Okoye. So sometime in April, be looking forward to that. So we're going to be having a conversation with Mr. Gabe Okoye, walking us through and all of that. And also in April, we are also going to be having a retirement financial series, on retirement, how women especially can retire effectively. So those are the key things coming down the pipeline. So our calendar is really, really full and great events coming up. Just wanted to highlight those for you all. Thank you. Any questions, reach out to the African Women Pack on Facebook, like us on Facebook, reach out to me. Omar Utah, I'm the Director of Operations. So glad to, talk to any person that is interested in knowing more about us.
We're just getting started.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Omar. Thank you. We're going to move along. We have another update, and we came together, and we need to run for offices. And so Shegu's going to talk about us running for offices and also us attending local meetings, council meetings, school board meetings. So go ahead, Mr. Shegu.
All right, thank you, Mr. Soje. As he said, it's really important for us to be engaged and involved in our community. It's not just about voting or supporting those who are running, but there are a lot of people on this phone that I know the contributions you can make in your community. And it's everywhere from the local races all the way up to the state level. And if you want to run for a national level, that's great too. We take for granted, as a lot of you know, I ran for school board. Very close race in the primary. My opponent, along with another colleague, they won the election. So the school board is very diverse, and these two ladies have gotten on board in Gwinnett County, and I'll say they're doing a great job. But they can't do the job without us. The challenge that we've seen there have been a lot of, for those who live in Gwinnett County know, there's been some controversy in the county. But the truth of the matter is, and let me just be real, I just think just because they're Black women, and my kids are Black, and I want them to have the best future they can have, and they are being represented. We are at the table. And when that diversity comes, sometimes people are threatened. And they shouldn't be threatened because just like, there's diversity everywhere. We do have people who are intellectuals or intelligent and that can contribute. So I'd like to ask those who live in Gwinnett County and support the school system or have kids in the school system to attend the next meeting, which is on the 18th at 7 p.m., the Gwinnett County School Board meeting, and speak on behalf of your interest in supporting these ladies. Because without the support, myself and Charles went to the last meeting, the parents that did not support them, and I'll be honest with you, just because they're Black, and I hate to say that, they've never been given the opportunity to prove what they can bring to the table yet. They were there and spoke them down, and they were in large numbers. So for March 18th, I'd like to invite, and even if you don't live in Gwinnett County, please come out to the meeting. We'll send out the address. Please reach out to what's our NAPAC-GA@gmail.com. NAPAC-GA, if you can put it in the chat room. Definitely want you to come out and support them. Along with that, there are a number of races, local races, city races. There's one in Kennesaw, ran by my sister Salome Sedera. She potentially will run again this year. She hasn't announced yet, but we have to get out and provide the support with this network. So we have a very strong network. NAPAC, as we mentioned, I am the executive director of the national organization, and we have a number of our members, founding members, executives from around the country that are on this call tonight, and they're doing the same thing in their states. So if you have other organizations, my buddy Zeke is in Ohio. Let's reach out to our African community and let them do the same thing that we're doing here in Georgia. So thank you for this 5 minutes. I know I spoke over, but guys, this is it. We all have to stay involved. And thank Mr. Blackman for continuously supporting us and being at every meeting, because he's ready to work with us. He's not just here to say he's running again. He's ready to work with us and show us how to organize. So Mr. Blackman, we're going to take advantage of your experience and help us to get this community strong and going again. I don't know if you want to say a few words before the next announcer.
Yeah, no, all I will say is that, like was stated by John, our commitment and the word we gave to the importance of this community is very genuine. And like I said last week, it doesn't take a person being elected or in any position to serve. And that's what I'm here to do. So I'm really just listening and I'm paying attention. But thank you so much for the recognition and for the power of this group. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. Daffy.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Right now, we have various organizations on this call, and some people have been calling from out of town. So at this time, we're going to go through the list and pick a few people just to say a few words. But I have to definitely call Mr. Gusea. He's from one of the founding members from NAPAC. So, Mr. Gusea, could you just say a few words while we line a few more people up before we close? Is he available? Mr. Gusea.
Mr. Gusea, are you online?
Yeah. Okay, then we'll move it to Madam VP. Go ahead, Madam VP. Is she online?
They're both online. I'm not sure what happened. Okay,
are they able to unmute themselves?
Okay.
Right. Yeah, they're able to unmute themselves. Yeah. Just unmute yourself, please, if you need to speak.
Okay. All right. If they're not online, like I said, I definitely want to recognize our national. So I will call on Miss. She's online. Okay. Let's call on Mr. Kidele, please. Just from the national, NAPAC national, please.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Kidele. Thank you, Mr. Kidele.
Adafe love calling me out like this on my God-given day of rest. He never fails. Well, I mean,
you prepared, Mr. Akindele. We know you come prepared.
Yeah, I see. Just a couple of words. That was a discussion with John Ossof. We have to continue to keep our lawmakers accounted for. I agree with Shegun 100%. We talk about it all the time about people getting involved in local races and going to school board meetings and planning commission meetings too. And so it's very important that we become engaged, read our master plans, read our city charters, read our zoning ordinances, because one of the things I've learned is you can change a zoning ordinance to benefit you as the African community. We as an African community, you can change a zoning ordinance, you can change your city charter to benefit us. So, but if we don't know what's in the city charter or planning or zoning, we won't get to the mountaintop. So I just appreciate all the commitment and all the hard work that we're doing, not just in the state of Georgia. We're trying to move some things here in the state of Michigan. We do have NAPAC Michigan do have the Michigan Crown Act Town Hall coming up on March the 25th. You'll see the flyer going out momentarily by tomorrow. We want folks to check out what we're talking about with State Representative Spare Anthony, who has reintroduced this bill on hair discrimination. And this is a national movement. So there's good things to come. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you as always. Dafe, do you have someone to call on right now?
We have two more people. Then I'll let you call on who you need to call on. We have Deputy Mayor Awet Ayasu. Then we have Hannah Joy. Hannah, we can see you smiling. So you're right up after Mayor Awet. Go ahead. Okay.
I think Mayor might have stepped away when he gets back.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
go ahead.
We can hear you. We can't see you though.
Well, let me put on my camera as well. But thank you so much. I think it was really awesome to see our senator, and I'm really speechless. I'm happy that we worked so hard for him, and that he won now, and he actually came back to talk to us. And the $1.9 trillion assistance, is gonna definitely help a lot of us, and a lot of our communities will benefit out of this. So we did it, Georgia. Now we need to continue and the push, and just like Segun said, let's push on locally as well, not just only national level, but we need to push on locally on everything, including school boards, city councils, county commissions, and we need to push if we have anybody here in our groups who are interested in running. We really need to motivate y'all to run, and we need to get people who share our values to also serve us in all levels. So thank you again, and hopefully we continue doing this, and hopefully we see Reverend Warnock again as well. Thank you.
And yeah, I just want to echo everything Brother Iyasu said, and just want to say thank you to everybody on this call. I know a lot of you, and I'm honored to have worked with you. As many of you know, I was part of a coalition called Ethiopians and Eritreans for Georgia. I also have my own organization called Promote Positivity Movement that does a lot of work in the community year round. And just to give you all a couple of updates, with the success that we had found in working together and really collaborating, we are trying to kind of create a national initiative. So it's going to be something similar to what we had started in Georgia, but really to help candidates across the U.S. So you can be on the lookout for that as we continue to develop it. And then in addition to that, I really want to thank the African Women's PAC for the invitation for this weekend. I'm looking forward to honoring Women's History Month with you all, and also the support from the Nigerian American PAC as well, and everything you all do. It's just a blessing to work with all of our brothers and sisters from across the diaspora, from across the motherland. I want to update you as well. We all know what's going on in Georgia right now. We all worked so hard to get these two senators elected, to see a change in Georgia. And what we're seeing right now is a direct attack on our democracy. Lawmakers are trying to strip our rights to vote. Lawmakers are trying to make it harder for us to vote, particularly Black and brown communities and immigrants. Many of you have been following the news. SB 241 and HB 531 have been moving through the House and Senate. They've been moving through the legislature, and we're seeing what's happening. So myself and a few others, several others, we created a coalition called Protect the Vote GA, and we've been protesting for 2 weeks straight. So that's why my voice is a little coarse, but we've been protesting at the Capitol. Brother Awet Iyasu came out and spoke and addressed the crowd. We would love for any of you all to come. Join us in this movement. You've probably seen pictures. We were in chains. We were in the Capitol. We were outside of the Capitol, and we're going to continue protesting until Sine Die Day, which is going to be on March 31st. So for the rest of session, we're holding daily protests at Liberty Plaza from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. And if any of you all can make it, I'll leave my email address in the comments. Please shoot me an email. If you can speak, we'd love to have you speak, because they are trying to take away our vote. So please, please, please join us in this movement. We have 2 weeks left in session, and any support and presence would be much appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you.
My sister, go, Hannah.
Hey,
That's amazing.
Hadi Adafe, can I just comment on that? Hannah, I think one of the things we might want to do, this group, if we can organize this group to be there on a particular day, I think that would be powerful.
I love that. I love that. Maybe we can connect and see what day works best for everybody. But I think that would be amazing. I mean, y'all can come out and dressed up, representing whatever, or just come as as anything. But I think that would be really powerful. And we had one day where we had 500 people come out, and today we had about 12 people. So we're gonna hold it down until March 31st. But I think having a themed day like that would really, really help. So I'll touch base with the senators and the representatives to see what day will be pretty busy, so we can make a statement in that way. Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Amazing. That's great work, Hannah. Keep it up. Thank you so much. And yes, like Shogun said, keep us posted. We would need to know something like this because most of us may not have been aware that you guys are doing all of that stuff. So it's good to share the information. I know Shogun mentioned that Ms. Salome Sedera had ran for office in my neck of the woods. From Kennesaw. I'm in East Cobb, Marietta. So I see the name on the screen. Ms. Salome, can you hear me? I don't know if you would like to say a few words and encourage folks and maybe share some information with the team. We like to call on people here. Name was on the screen a few minutes ago, but.
No, she's still on. Salome, you're muted.
Can she unmute herself?
Yeah, she should be able to. Just unmute yourself. You need to speak, please.
Okay, we won't put her. But if she comes back again, we'll definitely. Hopefully, she would be ready to let us know what she's up to next.
Yeah. Okay. We'll quickly pass it on to our French-speaking brothers. I know that I don't see Dede and Serge on here, the duo for the Congolese community. I don't know if one of you want to also share and give a little bit of a splash and summarize what we just had today in French, because we'd like to do that for you guys to help that side of the community too. It's all about being inclusive. So who's going to take the lead on this? Dede or Serge?
We can let Serge do it because
I know. I see Serge. It's coming. Yeah.
Bonsoir à tout le monde, comment vous allez? Bon, je me porte bien en tout cas. Je suis content de vous retrouver tous encore ce soir parce que bon, ça fait quand même longtemps, j'ai raté la dernière réunion. I hope my French is not difficult, okay? Everybody can understand?
Oui, très bien, oui.
Ok, d'accord. Alors, on est vraiment dans la joie de voir le sénateur John Ossof venir encore nous parler ce soir. Ça a été un immense plaisir et nous espérons aussi que la prochaine fois, ça sera le révérend Warmock qui va passer aussi. Et bon, écoutez, nous sommes là, la lutte continue, nous n'allons pas nous fatiguer et je crois que nous devons maintenant aller au niveau du States, donc de l'État de Géorgie, pour essayer un peu de barrer la route à tout ce qu'on est en train de faire pour modifier la loi électorale, les critères pour les électeurs. Vraiment, c'est ça notre prochain combat. Et sur ce, je crois que le chairman Dédé va continuer et vous parler de la suite. Merci.
Thank you.
Merci, mon père. Chairman Dédé.
Dédé's going to be doing the closing, so have we got to that stage yet, Hattie?
Yes. Unless you have someone to bring on before that, but you can.
I think Mr. Goswami is back.
Okay. Mr. Goswami, are you back? Okay, so after Mr. Goswami, then Mr. Dédé will give us the closing. Mr. Goswami? Is he back?
Okay, maybe walk away again. Sorry.
Okay, Heidi, you can introduce.
He's on another call. He's still here, but he's on another call. Was he supposed to speak?
Yeah,
not necessarily. We wanted to make sure we give him recognition and give him a platform to say a few words, but if he's occupied, it's okay.
Okay. Can I just have a minute while you're waiting for him?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I just want to take a minute before we close to really, really thank folks that work with me to make this thing happen. Of course, Ms. Hardy, I really thank you very much because many times I call you late at night and because I need to get these things done. Charles also the same thing. I call him several times while he's in the middle of things just to help me with tech to make sure everything went well. Shegun, of course, as usual, I talk to him often, and Mr. Soje, so for all the planning. So I thank you very much. You make it easier, things to get done. Unfortunately, the senator didn't really go through all the stuff we sent to him. That will be coming later on. I'll kind of follow up, just trying to see if we can get some kind of answer to the submitted list of questions that were sent to him. But because of time, he was not able to do that. But we started on time, which is very good. I appreciate that. And we kept the time. So I'm sure you appreciate that too. So anyway, I just want to thank everyone that worked with me to make this thing happen. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Merci.
On that, hold on for Mr. Bolaji and what he mentioned in terms of questions. We worked hard. We asked the community, just so folks know the inclusiveness of this work. We did put together a list of questions that impact every community out here. We reached out to the different leaders and did submit some items to the senator. Even if he didn't address it directly here, he had touched some items that actually impact our community, and he had seen it. So let's keep in mind that we did send that information and he has read it. Those are things that resonate with people. He may sit somewhere and mention it. So we went from Congo to the issues there, to Ethiopia, to Senegal, to Gambia, to the continent, the election issues, all of that put together. Immigration, a lot of immigration issues, and we know that's the core of our community. And the visas, so student working visas and all of that. So there were a few items that were sent to him. And the reason why we asked about the liaison to his office is so that we can follow up on some of these. So again, just to add to Mr. Bolaji's comment that we did take that into consideration and we'll continue to be able to talk to his group.
Yeah, yes, I wanted to add something if you all allow me.
Yes, go ahead, Mr.
I'm M.A. Stefan McKendy. I'm with an internet radio station. As a matter of fact, I'm broadcasting right now as we're speaking. I heard everything wonderful. I want to congratulate everybody who got involved in trying to get the senator to speak to us today, so the African diaspora. But what I have noticed, yes, we have Zoom, we have other ways to communicate. This is a platform for y'all to come and sit down sometimes and share, because we do broadcast live. So you come on and meet with us and sit down. We are based in Atlanta, Georgia, in Tucker. You can come in and just spend time with us and use the microphone or our cameras. We are called www.radioducongo.com. Or you can come and just do a show here, a live show on camera with Studio ATL. And we are here to support the African diaspora as one big family, where we can make a big change that makes sense for the future of our children and everybody else. And we want to make sure we have a bridge in between our diasporas, wherever we are in the world, with Africans still back home. That way we'll make sense and connect ideas and connect finances and everything else that we can make a change. So that's it. That's all I wanted to share with all of you. Please, if you can, write down this website or go through our chat as we've been talking. You'll be able to find out who we are.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat box, please.
Repeat your name and then put your website or email in the chat box for folks to contact you.
Yes, M.A. Stefan McKendy. It's a bilingual show, as a matter of fact, because most of us will speak either French or English. That would be the best way to communicate, and we do use it. And right now, we're running a special for ladies who want to join me during my shows to broadcast with me for the whole month of March. That's our way to say to our ladies, happy International or Women International Day. Come on and come broadcast with me. If you got skills, we need you. We want you to come and broadcast.
And Miss Oma, I hope you hear him.
Yeah.
For this coming few days.
Yes, I've already made note of his.
Please put in the chat.
Yeah,
chat box.
he already sent us info. He already invited the African Women PAC. So
Yeah.
we have accepted it. Thank you so much. We are ready.
Always a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
We,
And I saw that he texted me already. Thank you so much.
so we need your voices, and we need your voices on a bigger platform rather than being in a small box. Like right now, we are in a small box. So many people not catching on what we're talking about. And this is a matter that we need to actually share with the diaspora. Most of us are just distracted doing things that are not helping us. So this is the platform that I'm inviting everybody to join.
Put the link in the
Okay,
chat
thank
box,
you
please.
so much. Thank you so much. And quickly, we have someone that had his hand up, Mike Udo. I don't know if you can hear me, if his hand's still up to speak. I believe they want to share a couple of things. And then from that, we would then lead over to Mr. Dede to wrap it up for us. Mr. Udo? It's connecting, it looks like.
Mike Udo?
If you can give me 1 minute, if he's not there, I want some
No,
information.
he's connected now. Can you hear us, Mr. Udo? Okay, that didn't work out.
1 minute. Heidi? This is
Yes,
Zeke.
Mr. Z.
Yes, what I want to say is we need to work hard to counter-attack these bills, like the 253 bills with provision that racist voting access. And there are a lot of groups, including ours. Our legal department is looking into it and working with other groups. They are taking each and every one of them to court. I've already passed it. Arizona, Georgia, everywhere where there are majority Republican state legislators, including Pennsylvania, they are doing that. But we cannot just sit and ideally, but Hannah already said it, they are protesting out there. We are also going to look at the legal aspect, what we can do with a lot of human rights. So I just want to let you know, we need to look at that angle also. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. It's 9:05. We promised an hour, and we're past it a few minutes. I like to keep things within the hour allotted. So, Mr. Dede, take the stage and wrap it up for us. Thank you, brother.
Thank you all, and thank you, the team, for the opportunity. Quickly, the meeting of the senator was short. It was great, but short. As we mentioned, all of us had more concern about the policy of the United States government, especially with this election that went on. And we understand about the COVID stimulus that was signed and everything. But as not just for, I'm trying to make sure that what he said about the individual or the entity within his cabinet who is going to be a liaison. So that was my main concern. And I voiced that because we are having issues here, not just in Atlanta, especially in Clarkston, with all our refugees and not just from Congo, from all over. And what was going to be the job of that liaison? Because I would love us to be more involved within his office, or even for Warnock office. I would love us to be more involved, have a voice with Stacey Abrams and the other ones, just have that voice to be recognized, the work that we did for this election coming in. So I hope that liaison individual will be known to us very soon. And it's something that the Congolese community is looking forward for the next, and we know that the election coming up next year, I believe. So we are trying we have to position ourselves to make sure that all the issues that we are going through on a daily basis here, and again, the refugee issues with the quota jumping from 15,000 to close to 100,000 refugee. We will have a lot of Congolese coming in very soon. I believe within the next couple months, we'll have a lot of Congolese coming in here. So what will be the impact of the senator, how he's going to accommodate us to have the refugee resettle in this country. Those we need funds that are needed from the federal government to accommodate those individuals because they have to come here, and the transition is over very hard from French speaking to English, and from refugee camp or in Eastern Africa and coming out here. So funds need to be addressed, and I've been in Clarkson, and some of us don't know this condition our brothers are living in. It's very hard. The improvement has to be done. That was my main concern. And again, thanks for the opportunity. Anything else I would love to for us, and I want to congratulate all of us that we did the great effort here as we're moving along. Merci beaucoup à tous. Je vous remercie sincèrement, and especially the women, and this month of pour les femmes. Merci beaucoup for our ladies that are doing great efforts to get the message out. Thank you very much again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dede. Great words. By the way, great questions. We did submit that to Senator Ossof to let him know that we are concerned about the conditions of refugees, their living conditions, their security, and the aid that they need. So that was also submitted as a concern to the senator. So just so know that's there. And you make great points, and we'll continue to push to make sure we have access to his office. Our work is not done. We mean what we say. And please don't underestimate this platform. It's One Voice Africa for a reason. We will pass on all the concerns, whether it's here or abroad. So we really appreciate you guys taking the time to come here. And by the way, I'm sure you guys are wondering, Warnock also did reach out and wants to come and thank the community as well. So we are working on that to happen next month. So hopefully that would happen as soon as possible. And as it happens, we would share, as we shared the last time, we have a calendar, community calendar, where the leaders would be able to see the events that are coming. Those would be updated, and you will get an alert if you get to sign up. Charles, our great CTO, I like to call him a CIO. He'll be able to handle that for you. But all of that would be posted in the calendar. And everyone that signed up here, I'm pretty sure would be getting alerts as we have events coming up. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your effort and collaboration and working together for the interests of our continent and the people here in the diaspora. Have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hattie. You guys did a wonderful job. Man.
Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you.
Yes. See you what?
Good job, everybody. Nice meeting.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Madam Chief,
Yeah.
no recruiting tonight, too. No recruiting.
Guess what? What are you talking about? We already recruited thousands already.
Excuse me. Don't you see
how the wonderful job the African women have? The ladies. Hello. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, just want to make sure that we actually leaving the meeting. For those who've been listening, this is going to be also the end of our show tonight. And certainly tomorrow, we're going to be open again at the same hour, 6:30. Join us on Radio du Congo. That's going to be live again on Moon Talk with Aimé Stéphane Mukendi. Come and join us and show us what you can do. We are open to share. We are open to celebrate the diaspora magic. Don't let that magic die, because we are here to keep it going. www.radioducongo.com. Come and join us.